Hello, my fellow weirdos. You know how I said several days ago that it's odd we haven't heard much from Donnie Jr. since he illegally killed the endangered ruddy wood duck um, in Italy? He killed an endangered animal, a protected duck, while he was shooting and hunting in a place that only Italian people, citizens, are allowed. So, yeah. Um, and we haven't really heard a whole lot of, any mealy mouth brother. Well, I just found out that little Donnie Jr. is trying to start the enhanced games. Mm. So what? I guess that's competition, roid competition. You're allowed to use drugs. I don't know. Yeah. You know what they're doing, right? They're just trying to slap the Trump name on anything as a legacy. Since they're too evil to create a lasting legacy that's positive and looked on as famous, not infamous. So, since none of them can manage a legacy in honesty, they'll just gaslight, shove some other story down your throat. The enhanced games. The Olympics was about human accomplishment, not human on drugs accomplishment. So, a lot of us could be athletes if it was cool to take steroids and performance enhancing substances. That's the whole point of the Olympics, you fucking morons. Is to see the length that a human can get to on their own. Not with enhancers that make them think they're fucking infallible. See, because people get injured that way. The enhanced games. It even sounds oily and greasy and sleazy. The enhanced games. Everything has to be just look at Melanie's first lady phrase the first time around. Be best. It's not even correct English. And it has always irked me. Because I think she meant it. Always be the best. And that is not a life lesson that people should be learning. You do your best, but that doesn't mean you have to be the best at everything at all times. That's how you wind up with people that hate others for no reason, and they have to hate a trans person because they couldn't beat a biological woman. They certainly need someone to blame, not themselves. So we'll just say it's because they're a trans person. So yeah, it's not a real girl. Grow the fuck up. Do you hear it the opposite way? For women that transition to men and compete in sports, I don't hear anybody bitching about them having an edge or how any of that works. Explain that to me. Because things like diving and stuff like that you need flexibility for, a female may just naturally, without any kind of training, be more flexible in general than men would be. So why don't we hear them screaming about that, like in diving competitions. Hmm? Because it's bullshit, that's why. That's not why the person lost. You didn't lose because you were against a trans athlete. You lost because you're not the best that day. But see, MAGA can't accept that they're ever wrong, that they ever make a mistake, and that they ever don't do anything but come in first and win. And if I didn't, it's somebody else's fault. Because I should have. That's the attitude they walk around with 24/7. About everything. That is the viewpoint and their perspective about everything. Everything. Imagine how exhausting it must be to always be vigilant, to make sure nobody looks better than you, or nobody has nicer clothes, or God forbid anybody's smarter than you, or oh my God, that must be exhausting, to not just be able to be yourself, always having to be on. And hating takes a lot of energy, you know? All that energy exposed and displayed on hating someone. You do know what the opposite of awake is, right? Since you can't stand to be awake. So then you're just asleep. Just being led around by Donald. Okay, okay. Oh, take me where you want me. That's just sad. That's sad existence, MAGA. You're either sleeping or bellowing. You live MAGA 24/7. You don't understand how human minds need to escape things to have a proper perspective, right? You understand that, right? That's a proven fact. You also know that when people are subjected to, like, no darkness, so you lose your rhythm, or only one thing is said to them over and over, you realize those are brainwashing techniques and cult techniques to get everybody to believe the exact same thing. Because that's not normal. Because even people that believe in the same outcome of something might have a little different reasons. We don't all have the exact same reason, but MAGA seems to have the exact same reason for all of their hate, for all of the hate of all of the groups that they hate. And that common denominator is hate. Pure and simple. Racist hate, bigoted hate, misogynistic hate. It's hate. It's just pure, visceral, unadulterated, unfiltered, freaking raging hate. I mean, they hate everybody that's not them more than I hate my rapist. But then again, I've had to work on that. That's should be pretty sobering to hear a rape survivor tell you that MAGA holds more hate than rape survivors hold for the person that raped them. That is the intensity of MAGA's hate for everybody that isn't them, and that is the plain simple fact. You won't be accepted. They won't see you as human, even if you're white, if you don't believe that everybody should hate people, and that's sick. That's not humane. That's not human. That's a cultivated human. And it's sick. And I do need to tell you that as loud as they Republicans with a KKK, Republikkans, they are the groomers and the perverts. Look at all of the people that have been arrested for child porn, child sex, sexual predator, threats. They're all MAGAs. They're all MAGA. 99% of the groomers are MAGAs. What happened last year down in Georgia with that band of MAGA teachers that were having sexual contact with their students? MAGA. Because MAGA believes that everybody who isn't MAGA is there to serve them or be of use to them. And if you are not, then you are dismissed from this planet, in their view. They are the groomers. They are the perverts. Every time the RNC, the Republican with 3 Ks, has a convention, Grindr crashes. A bunch of hypocritical sexual groomers, liars, and perverts. And Republicans, if you don't like that I said that, come at me. It's the truth and you know it. That's why you get so pissed off. Because you know it's the truth and people are saying it. Out loud. In the sunlight. You know, the sunlight that you hide all your nasty little doings in? Yeah. We know. Republikkans. KKKans.